On a basketball court, it's not scripted. You never know what a defender might do. You gotta be creative on the fly.
Yeah.
And that's like a part of the brain that you gotta exercise. On the heels of winning the championship, I'm expressing myself creatively more than ever. But now I'm expressing it to the world.
Great to meet you, man.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, much respect, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How would you introduce yourself?
Jaylen Brand, I'm the current NBA champ. I am a philanthropist. I'm a designer, huge community guy. Family was raised in education, and I'm just trying to make the world a better place.
I feel kind of the same. Like a lot of times when I meet people, it's always like, what do you do? Like it's like the resume first, you know? And so if you just go straight off the resume, CEO of Kickstarter, we're the largest crowdfunding company in the world. But the thing that I'm most proud of is just being a good person, being a good man. It's crazy because I was speaking at this summit and I compared what I do similarly to an athlete, like having to show up 100% every single day, you know? Like there's literally no days off. I gotta always be present.
Competition.
The competition is crazy every single day, and especially when you're number one.
But I definitely see the correlation between, business, entrepreneurship, and athletics, building a team, leadership qualities. All of those things apply.
When you think about the brand that you're starting, what do you think most differentiates your brand compared to others out there in the market?
I think that the design is going to be different. I design everything myself. It's like my baby. It's like, my hands was on this project. I just got back from South Korea because I was at the factory, on the line, making sure stuff was done properly in the way that I see fit. I think it'll create a little bit more of a connection because they know how hard it is. That one, I waited 3 years. I passed on probably almost $50 million worth of deals in order to start something on my own. And not because I didn't like money. Those type of deals didn't work for me.
Yeah, you lit up when you started talking about the design. And when we first sat down here, I asked you, to introduce yourself and all that. But I think number one, you're a creative, man. Money matters and revenue and all those things. We want to be able to take care of our families and do all of that. But a true creative doesn't want to be bound by anything. They don't want to be bound by infrastructures that halt their creativity, you know what I mean? They need to be able to put their art form out into the world the way that they see fit.
Absolutely, you said that well, and now I'm excited about showing some of these things to the world.
I want to talk about community a little bit. Community has been a huge part of my life, and I kind of see it kind of in two different ways. I have the personal community, and then I have the professional community, right? My personal community is actually very small. These are the people that support me through the ups and downs, but also on the flip side, community in business. At Kickstarter, which is on a global scale, the community that we have, everything that we do is for them. To me, the stories, the impact that I get to see on a daily basis is what inspires me and gets me out of bed.
I like how you broke that down, personal community versus, the outer community that you're trying to serve. I think, that personal community is important. It's not me doing everything alone. I got a great team behind me. I got great people in my corner. I got great people that help me kind of try to bring to life all these different things that I aspire to do. Outer community is probably the next gen. This next generation is already thinking differently, already more creative. So I spend a lot of time talking to the younger players, putting them on game about how the business works, the progression of your career is going to look. When it's over for you, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
So you need to start building now. And most importantly, what I teach the next gen, especially in athletics, but this applies to everyone really, is take 2 seconds to think for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't realize the pressure and the fear of being different from what everybody else. It causes everybody to think, act, and kind of be the same.
There's something that really stuck out in all of that, which was incredible, by the way. But, bro, you're living a dream. You know what I mean? There's so many kids, even myself, wanting to get to the NBA, getting to that level, winning a championship, literally being the best, recognized as the MVP of the best team in the league. That's really, really incredible. And what I find is oftentimes people that when they're at their peak, to still be able to take a step back and say I know all of this is still temporary. have the foresight to know that I'm planning for my future. When I'm in those high moments, I always tell people don't get too high on the highs, too low on the lows, right? And just be able to take a step back and see the greater picture. It's a marathon. You still have a long career left in the NBA, but that's just only one part of your life and your career.
Where I got that from was growing up playing chess.
Wow, okay.
When you first learn about the game, you learn that there's 3 components of a chess game: an opening, a middle, and an end game. And as you approach your strategy, you gotta know all 3 at the same time. Your opening act determines like how you're gonna finish the game. Obviously stuff happens and you gotta maneuver just like life.
Yeah.
But like when you choose a certain strategy, when you choose a certain trap, you already are thinking about how you wanna position your pieces for the end game. Correlation of like why I started to frame that, like why I started thinking about like the end of my career at the beginning, because I know like that this is a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that constantly in my head. I have the vision that I want for my life. Every day I'm working forwards to get to that vision. And so everything that I do is so intentional. Every move that I make, every job that I take, everything that I do is intentional to get to that path. Something that's really important to me, as well as, many others within our community, is generational wealth, because a lot of us haven't seen it, haven't touched it. Can you tell me a little bit more about why generational wealth is important to you and what your focus is there?
I knew that when I signed the most lucrative deal in NBA history, that the first thing that I wanted to do was invest it into the community. Boston's wealth disparity is top 5 every single year. And you can see it. Like when I first got to Boston, there was one minority or black-owned business in the city of Boston, the whole city. It was one. Now there's more and it's growing, but it still needs to continue to get catapulted forward. I launched a foundation called the Boston Exchange, which was the idea was to bring Black Wall Street to Boston. If we can change that over the next 5, 10, 15 years and make it easier to get loans out, to get access to funds in order to, help with the student loan crisis, all these different type of things that determines your social mobility as you become an adult. I think that is the key to what I'm trying to create.
That resonates with me so much, and like, kudos to you, because it's not just about the journey of getting there and getting that wealth, but it's about creating other millionaires and billionaires, et cetera, et cetera. And so I heard a quote from someone one time where they were like, I look at my success by the amount of other successful people I helped get there. And I think you have that same mentality. Let's talk about failure. I always think that failure is the thing that kind of catapults us to success.
Yeah.
So what role does failure, and what are some of the trials and tribulations you experienced in your life that help catapult you?
In the moments that I had the most adversity, those have been the biggest blessings in my life. Anytime I've ever lost, I won immediately after. Anytime I was embarrassed, I leveled up times 10. It's because it caused an emotion in me that led my focus, that led my desire, that led my will, that led everything to just want to be better. You can't run from it. You gotta really sit in it. All living organisms, even plants, struggle to get sunlight.
Yeah.
It's just a part of our existence, that adversity is a part of our growth.
Yeah.
So when you shift your mindset and perspective to thinking like it's happening for me instead of to me, you'll start to really reach different levels of success. But the key is not letting it break your spirit.
Yeah, it's something that's helped me out like tremendously throughout my career. It's like I've just had this like very intense focus. I felt like I was destined for more. I remember being homeless in high school, and I didn't have a computer, and I would go to the local library just for shelter, and I would use the computers in there, and I was on the internet reading about like the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Jack Dorseys and all these people that have started these tech companies. I was like, man, this tech thing is like a lane that I could do. Like, it felt like it was the equalizer. It provided me a platform to really learn, grow, build a career around technology, and so I'm always grateful for it. But the more I get older, I'm also aware of the negative side of technology, and so I'm always constantly trying to be a purveyor of truth around technology, support people that are trying to use technology for good.
Hats off to you and for making that the emphasis, because we live in a world where everything is around the almighty dollar.
Yep.
So I salute the ones who focus on their mission and they measure impact by how many people they touch rather than how many dollars they make.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this brand and like what led to you launching this brand for yourself?
Honestly, Where I got the idea was from Kobe, may he rest in peace. Like before he passed away, I remember seeing an article come out. Kobe was launching his own brand. Him and Nike had been inseparants, and he had planned on signing athletes, giving like better deals and better percentages. I thought that was dope. But also just going through my own experiences dealing with, some major corporations and how they value, your creativity, how they value you. I met with every brand in hopes to sign with somebody, and none of them stood out to me. They all kind of approach things the same, and I think it's a little dinosaur. And I was looking for the brand of the future, not the brand of the past. I couldn't find it, so I had to start it.
That's really dope, man. I think sometimes people can take things in a negative way, but what I see what you're doing is very positive, because it's like, look, ownership, which a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, man, you sign these deals and it's like you're really signing so much of yourself away to these companies.
Your intellectual property and that stuff is important, because like when you get older, like when the ball stops, you want to still be able to, present your shoes or go back to your neighborhood, do some projects or events. Just because your career stopped don't mean your influence and your likeness stopped. But if somebody owns that, they tell you when you can do what you want to do. And there's certain older players that I've had conversations with, being a union member, who are extremely upset by the fact that they've had signature lines, and that how the organization or the company that they were aligned with told them, like, we're not putting out, you're not getting nothing. You can't put out no more shoes. The answer is no. They're frustrated by that. Our youth need to hear that frustration. They seen you when you were in your highest, but they need to see that too, because that can help inform their decision making. There might be somebody else in the future, in that next gen, that might want to start their own business. They might start the next Nike, they might start the next Yeezy.
And it might be you, and that's what's incredible about this, is that what you're creating is, innovative, it's brave, it's something that a lot of people aren't willing to do, because a lot of times people are just willing to take the scraps that people are willing to give them instead of starting their own. My biggest advice to you is just to be like obsessed with growth and innovation and design, like consistently. The moment that you get comfortable, you don't seem like the type of person that's gonna get comfortable, but the moment that you get comfortable, that's when a company's dead.
And I'm 27 years old, I still got a long time to play, so I look forward as I grow. My brand continues to grow with me. It doesn't have to be, the hottest brand on the street by tomorrow, but just continuing to roll it out story at a time. Hopefully that'll create people to feel, not just see, like what I'm trying to do here. And if anything, if that don't work, then it sparks the next mind, somebody else to do the same thing. And I wish I could have had somebody to show me and teach me, but I had to learn everything on my own. So being able to show people the way is just the key. I think that's a part of like creating a new future.
I think you got the right mentality, and I'm really excited to see what you do.
And I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Wish me luck, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm excited for you, man.